application, and second, to receive comments from the public and agencies before a decision is made. All submissions form part of the public record. Any applicant, agent, or member of the public wishing to address the committee for a specific application is reminded that presentations are limited to 10 minutes per person. All parties will be verbally acknowledged before being asked to proceed. For those attending by teleconference, if at any time you have difficulties hearing what is being said, please say so or click the raise hand button or dial *9. We kindly ask that everyone speak slowly and clearly when addressing the committee. If you're of the opinion that holding the hearing is an electronic hearing is likely to cause significant prejudice, we ask that you advise this committee at the earliest opportunity and the matter can be addressed accordingly. At this time, I'll ask that anyone who objects to an electronic hearing of a matter on today's agenda or is having difficulty hearing what is being said, please click the raise hand button or dial *9. No responses. The committee will first adopt the agenda. Would the Secretary Treasurer please read the resolution?
Good morning, committee. Moved by Jean Neville and seconded by John Agate. Be it resolved that the Committee of Adjustment hereby approve the agenda of May 25th, 2026 meeting as circulated.
All those in favor? That is carried. Do any committee members have a pecuniary interest in the application being heard today? No response. There are minutes to approve from the April 27, 2026 meeting. Does the committee have any comments or questions on those minutes? No comments. Would the Secretary Treasurer please read the resolution?
Moved by John Agate, seconded by Jean Neville. Be it resolved that the Committee of Adjustment hereby approves the meeting minutes of April 27th, 2026 meeting as circulated.
All those in favor? That is carried. I now declare this to be a public hearing for the application PLMV 2025. Is that right?
26.
I now declare this to be a public hearing for application PLMV 2026-02C. Located in Part Lot 8, Concession 1, Geographic Township of Anson, 1169 Trellis Trail on Bob Lake. Would the planner please summarize the proposed variance and any correspondence received to date regarding this application?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good morning, committee. The application submitted by Dave Roberts on behalf of himself and Pamela England as property owners. The property was previously subject to a minor variance application PLMV 2025087, considered and approved by the committee on February 23rd, 2026. As a condition of PLMV 2025087, an Ontario Land Surveyor, OLS, was required to confirm the location and setbacks of the proposed garage. The proposal has not changed. As originally proposed in the original application, the owners still wish to construct a new 2-story detached garage having a ground floor area of 56.95 square meters or 616 square feet. The second story is proposed to be storage only. When the OLS attended the site, they identified that the intended location of the garage only provided a high water mark setback of 24.7 meters or 81 feet, whereas a 25.3 meter or 83 foot setback was previously approved. The OLS further identified that due to topographical constraints, moving the garage further back to achieve the approved setback was not possible. So as a result of the OLS confirmation, a new application was required. The application requires the following relief from Township Zoning Bylaw. From section 4.1.6 to permit a height of 6 meters or 19.7 feet for a detached 2-story garage being set back 24.7 meters or 81 feet from the high water mark, whereas a maximum height of 3.5 meters or 11.5 feet is otherwise permitted for accessory buildings within 40 meters of the high water mark. From section 5.2 to permit the setback of 24.7 meters or 81 feet to the high water mark, whereas otherwise a setback of 30 meters for the new detached garage would be required. This application remains subject to the 4 tests of the minor variance outlined by the Planning Act. being that the development must demonstrate that it is minor in nature, desirable for the appropriate development or use of the land, building, or structure, and will uphold the general intent and purpose of the official plan and the zoning bylaw. As the intended land use, location and design of the proposed garage remain unchanged. The four tests as reviewed and analyzed in the original minor variance, PLMV 2025087, continue to be applicable to this application. The proposed development is therefore considered to meet the four tests of a minor variance, and the application is brought forward to reflect accurate and legally confirmed setbacks to the proposed development. The application is also required to be consistent with the provincial planning statement. Under the policies of the PPS, the subject property is considered rural lands, and more specifically, considered rural lands. Permitted on rural lands include permitted uses on rural lands. Apparently, you've had enough coffee. Morning. Resource-based recreational uses such as recreational dwellings, associated accessory uses. As previously, there's change in the location of the bill for the application. So the application was submitted in order to recognize confirmed setbacks as per legal survey. And therefore the application continues to be consistent with the PP. Notice of the application circulated to neighbor landowners and commenting agents in accordance with the statutory requirements of the Act on May 15, 2026. A sign was also posted on the property. No comments have received from members of the public or agencies for the application. The application continues to meet four tests of the minor variance and is consistent with the policies of the PPS, and therefore it is recommended that the application be approved. The approval of this application would effectively make the decision of PLMV 2025087 approved on February 23rd, 2026, null and void, and would be replaced with the approval of PLMV 2026023, subject to the conditions laid out in today's report. That's all. If there's any questions?
Thank you. Is the applicant or property owner here today? Don't see.
Yes, I'm actually online.
Okay.
It's Dave Roberts here.
Would you please state your name and provide any comments if you'd like?
Yeah, it's Dave Roberts. I'm the applicant and the cottage owner. Yeah, I just wanted to comment that the original application where I thought my setback was 25.3 meters, it was based on basically a ruler measurement of my survey, paper copy survey. And what's funny is on the south side of the building, I'm actually good by almost 2 meters. Like I'm probably more like 27 meters setback. But what I didn't account for was the angle of the shoreline, and obviously the building isn't as parallel to the shoreline as I thought. So the back north corner ended up being like just over half a meter on the wrong side of that estimate. So that's really what happened in this case. So surveyors confirmed that, and it's I think we're good to go now.
Okay, well, thank you for that. Are there any members of the public who would like to speak to this application? We'll start with anyone attending electronically. No one's there. As there's no other person attending in person. So are there any questions or comments from the committee to the applicants, the planner, or any persons who have made presentations? Pardon me? Okay. That was a question or statement? That was a statement. Yes. Yes, it is a good thing. Definitely. Anyone else? No? All right, we're all good.
I just have a question, if I may. I didn't actually get a chance to read this report from Jody or Amanda. Is there any conditions that I mean, the last time it was for the conditions was the OLS letter, and we have that now. So I'm just curious what other conditions there are.
We'll get to that.
Okay.
As there are no further comments, will the Secretary Treasurer please read the proposed conditions for the minor?
There we go. It came very quickly. So through you, Mr. Chair, the conditions are fairly similar to last time. So the standardized conditions being that, which reflect what the minor variance is for. So the 216 square foot two-story garage with the second floor being for storage only. That construction will have to proceed in accordance with the site plan, and that a building permit to be applied for within 12 months, and then failing any part of those foregoing conditions, it would be refused. The only differences are that in this case, because we do already have the OLS confirmation, that second confirmation is not required, and so it's not a condition of this particular application because we do already have that information. And that also this minor variance would make the original minor variance null and void so that there's not two competing minor variance applications.
Perfect.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments from the committee regarding these conditions or thoughts about why this might or might not be approved? My thought is that this is the same as before. This is a minor variance. It's consistent with the policies of the township and the province, and so there's no particular reason to. Hearing all the evidence before it, is the committee ready to make a decision? If not, will the Secretary Treasurer please read the resolution?
Through Mr. Chair, I'm just going to write the reasons, as although it's this somewhat this or pretty much the same applications before, we still have to include the reasons. So I'll just sort of
Sure.
reflect what you've just mentioned.
We'll just talk about it.
Before I read out the full resolution, what I've written is that for reasons the application and request reflect previous approval and that the application is consistent with policies of the township and province. That sound good? Okay. Moved by Paul Radals and seconded by Jean Neville, whereas the Committee of Adjustment considered the written and oral submissions relating to application PLMV 2026-023 Roberts in England made at the hearing. And whereas it is the opinion of the committee that the relief granted maintains the general intent of the official plan and zoning bylaw, is appropriate and desirable for the area, and is minor in nature, and more specifically for the following reasons: that the application and request reflect previous approval, and that the application is consistent with policies of the township and province. Now, therefore, it is the decision of the committee that application PLMV 2026-023 requesting relief from the requirements of bylaw 06-10 as amended to permit the following: from section 4.1.6 to permit a height of 6 meters or 19.7 feet for a detached two-story garage being set back 24.7 meters or 81 feet from the high water mark, whereas a maximum height of 3.5 meters or 11.5 feet is otherwise permitted for accessory buildings within 40 meters of the high water mark. And from section 5.2 to permit a setback of 24.7 meters or 81 feet to the high water mark, whereas otherwise a setback of 30 meters for the new detached garage would be required, subject to the following conditions: that approval of minor variance PLMV 2026-023 shall serve to make null and void the decision of PLMV 2025-087, that the minor variance shall only relate to the proposed new 56.95 square meter or 616 square foot two-story garage with an unfinished second story to be used for storage only, construction of which shall comply with all other applicable law. That construction shall proceed substantially in accordance with the site plan and survey confirmation letter submitted to the township on April 27th, 2026, and put before the committee on May 25th, 2026, informing part of this decision. that the building permit, which is to remain in good standing, be applied for within 12 months of the approval of this application, following submission to the building department of the appropriate application, fees, and supporting information as required by the chief building official, and that failing any part of the foregoing conditions, this application shall be deemed to be refused. And the deck be, well, shall be deemed to be refused. There's an extra line in here. I'm gonna just cross that right out. And that's all.
Okay. All those in favor? That is carried. I now declare this matter to be.
Great, thank you, guys.
Is there any other new business to discuss today? Hearing nothing. When is the next meeting?
Through you, Mr. Chair, the next meeting will be on June 22nd. We do have one application that will be for sure at that meeting, and that is just to note, it is a week earlier than normal. We did move that up just because we're kind of getting close to Canada Day, and I know it's not Canada Day on the 29th, but we're pretty close there, so it is a week earlier than usual.
Okay, thank you for that. Would the Secretary Treasurer please read the resolution to adjourn?
A move by Paul Radals and seconded by John Agate. Be it resolved that the Committee of Adjustment meeting be adjourned at 9:46 a.m. on May 25th, 2026, and the committee will reconvene on June 22nd, 2026.
All those in favor? That is carried. We are adjourned.